And they say that that is Jesus, and Jesus is Cleopatra and Mark Antony's son. You understand? Mark Antony was of the gods. See, because of the spell of Leviathan, when I say Mark Antony is a god and a wicked man, you think God is good. But if you read God Semitically with dyslexia, God becomes Anubis, the ancient Egyptian god dog. That the Greeks came into Egypt to study under us and steal the knowledge and take it back and turn it backwards. They started making us read from left to right instead of from right to left. And they started modernizing, standardizing all the languages. There wasn't no spoken language in Egypt. It was not the same language that Abraham spoke and the same language that Noah spoke. Why? Because when Abraham got to Egypt, he spoke to the Pharaoh. Right? When Moses got to Egypt, he spoke to the Pharaoh. They told us certain things that ain't true. They told us that the serpent was a symbol of the devil. That's not in the Torah. The word nachas in the Torah, where they have serpent, means to whisper. Nachas is chanas. The serpent was not bad to us when we ruled ancient Misraim, called Egypt. You follow that? And how do you know it? Because it was a serpent of Aaron that consumed the serpent of the Pharaoh. Now, why would Aaron use a wicked being to consume another serpent? Because the ancient Israelites, who we are, that was not a wicked being. And Moses and them marched through Jerusalem with a serpent at the head of them. And all the pharaohs put a serpent on the head, which symbolized medicine and purity. And to this very day, the Kundalini is being used as a sword with two serpents on it that came out of ancient Egypt. That's who we are. We are the ancient Egyptians. But we don't like the word Egyptian because Egyptian means Egyptos, or burnt faces. We're not burnt faces. The one that became burnt faces was the Hyksos dynasty, who came into Egypt, who Moses fought against. And Moses' real name is Thutmose, the god of ancient Egypt. When you say Thutmose, you're saying Moses. And the Hyksos dynasty of light-skinned people came in and warred against us over there, and they became burnt faces because they came in from Greece. They came in from what they call the 3 points. And that was Spain, Rome, and Greece. Those are the three families, the Spartans, the Franks, the Hittites, and the Anglecs, who moved in the Mediterranean area. And when they moved into our motherland, their skin became burnt. So they called them Egyptians. We were not called Egyptians, we was called Mitzrayim, those people of the two rivers. And those two rivers are the ones that lead down into a place called what? Huh? Aswan. Past Aswan down where? Past Sudan and down into what? Past Nubia and down into where? Huh? Say it louder. Ethiopia, Ether people. We are the Ether people, the Ethiopians, the Kusiyat. They called us in ancient times. We inherited the name Sudan to identify that we were not the burnt-faced people, but we were the original seed. We inherited the name Aswan to identify we were not burnt black, that we were original black, that we had the 9 ether. You understand? And with the 9 ethers is the texture of your hair. Because your hair comes out the follicus and creates a number 9. His hair comes out the follicus and creates a number 6. And 9 to the 9th power of 9 is the highest number on the universe, which makes us infinite. That is our number. You follow that? So we were the gods. When I say gods now, you see what happens? You got to keep it dyslexia. But if you don't, it'll end up dog. So when I say Mark Antony was a god, and Mark Antony came into Egypt and had sex with Cleopatra and then brought in their religion. And their religion was the worship of the cat. You understand that? They had what's called a holy cat. And they built a monument in Egypt for the holy cat. And the monument of the symbol in Egypt for the holy cat, you call it Sphinx. It's not one of our symbols. Now, if you take holy cat and put it in a dyslexia state, you'll get Catholic. Catholic, cat, holistic. And now they can't teach you Christianity, so now they're bringing in what they call holistic sciences. The New World Order, because people have fallen away from Krishna worship, which is Christianity. We saw through that. We're starting to rise back up again. The moment we stop conking our hair and pressing our hair and putting our feet on the grass again, things are going to start opening. We lost our eye and our light is dim. Blow on your hand with wind like this, with your breath. What do you feel? Heat. Why do you feel heat? Huh? No, not because of the temperature. Because of ether. Ether is a gas. You understand that? What do we breathe in? What do we give off? What does it take for fire to burn? Oxygen. What does it give off? Carbon. The devil is never going to tell you, the etheric people or original Ethiopian pygmies, that there's a light burning inside me and you. a real fire burning right inside our chest. Your scientist is not going to admit it. He'll tell it to you when he teaches you about the circulatory system and the respiratory system. He tells you how the blood fuses into the lungs and it's charged and it sends up gases to the brain. He'll tell you that. But he doesn't tell you that when you ignite blood, it ignites into a flame. That's why they said the light shineth in the darkness, but the dark comprehendeth is not. And the light is the life in man. We have a lit sun inside of us. If you see you after a full game of basketball and step back, you'll see the heat waves coming out of your body. The same way it comes out of the earth. That's why they said he created two lights. The greater light and the lesser light. And the greater light was the Ra there. And the reason why we acknowledge and respect the Ra is because Ra meant to see, Ra'ah. It didn't mean sun. The word for sun in ancient Egyptian was Shamsa. And that meant mushmish, illumination. It represented the sea because then there was no electricity. So when the sun appeared to rise, because it doesn't rise, that's when we started building. So we look forward for the rising of the sun. The Babylonians did this. They made us hate the rising of the sun by telling us, make sure you don't make fudge while the sun is rising. That's because we were sun people. People trying to get away from the sun made us start hating the sun. How'd they make you hate your hair? No, by telling you to pick cotton. That's right. There was a million things in this country that slaves could have did. It's not amber waves of cotton, it's amber waves of grain. Why'd they have us picking cotton? Because it made us hate the texture of our hair. And that's the first thing everybody here did. Comb their hair, brush their hair, straighten their hair, perm their hair, process their hair, jerry their hair, anything to make your hair straight. You know what you do? You take a piece of hair and take a match and come down there. And you know what you see? Before the fire touches the hair, it curls. It forms a 9. The 9 ether. When they make you start pulling your hair out, they make you cut off the flow of the energy around here. That's what the processing and the straightening is. Name another people on earth wouldn't that be him. They call it kinky. I call it kingly.